The Residential Buyer's Inspection Notice, BIN, is one of the most powerful negotiation tools in the Arizona residential resale contract. This document is used during the inspection period under Section 6J of the contract and allows the buyer to formally communicate one of 3 elections after completing inspections and investigations. This form is not merely a repair request sheet. It is a legally binding election that can result in acceptance, renegotiation, or immediate cancellation of the contract. Once delivered, the buyer cannot modify their election. For this reason, precision and strategy are critical. Purpose of the Buyer's Inspection Notice: defining the buyer's post-inspection rights. After completing inspections and investigations, the buyer must decide how to proceed. The BIN formalizes that decision. It confirms that the buyer has completed all desired due diligence, including physical inspections, environmental reviews, lender consultations, code inquiries, and verification of listing data. Important legal principle: all disapproved items must be listed in this notice. If an item is not listed, the buyer waives the right to object later. Phoenix example: home inspection reveals roof damage and HVAC inefficiency. If buyer only lists roof issues in the BIN, they cannot later demand HVAC repair. Buyer acknowledgments: inspection completion and final election. The BIN confirms that all inspections have been completed. All disapproved items are included. The buyer must select one of the available options. The election cannot be changed after delivery. This prevents inspection retrading and protects sellers from shifting demands after deadlines expire. 3 buyer election options. Understanding the strategic choice: option 1, premises accepted. Buyer accepts property as is with no requested corrections. Option 2, premises rejected. Buyer cancels the contract immediately based on disapproved items and is entitled to earnest money return. Option 3, opportunity to correct. Buyer provides seller the opportunity to correct or address listed items. This is the most commonly used option and begins negotiation. Gilbert example: inspection reveals minor plumbing leak and non-functioning pool pump. Buyer selects option 3 and requests correction prior to COE. Repair standards and contractor licensing requirements. The form reminds parties that repairs must be performed in a workmanlike manner. Arizona law ARS, paragraph 32-1121 requires licensed contractors when aggregate cost exceeds $1,000, work is not casual or minor, work requires building permit, agents must not allow unlicensed or improper repairs to satisfy contractual obligations. Mesa example: seller attempts to self-repair electrical issue without license. Buyer may reject repair as non-compliant. Broker liability disclaimer: inspection and repair limitations. The BIN clearly states that brokers make no representations regarding inspector or contractor competency, are not experts at detecting defects, are not responsible for repair estimates. This protects brokers from liability for technical construction issues. Seller response: 5-day window. If buyer provides opportunity to correct, seller has 5 days or agreed time frame to respond. Seller may agree to correct all items, refuse to correct, propose alternative terms, price reduction or credit. Scottsdale example: seller declines roof replacement but offers $7,500 credit at closing. Buyer's final election. If seller refuses, if seller does not agree to correct all items, buyer must then elect to cancel contract, accept seller's response, and proceed without repairs. This final election ends inspection negotiations. Important concept: inspection negotiations are not open-ended. Deadlines control the process. Monetary credits and lender restrictions. If seller agrees to provide credit or price reduction instead of physical repair, lender approval may be required. Lenders often limit total credit percentages based on loan type. Failure to submit addendum to lender can delay underwriting approval. Queen Creek example: buyer FHA loan allows limited seller concessions. Excessive repair credit may require restructuring of terms. Buyer's waiver of inspections, high-risk decision. The form also includes a waiver section. If buyer declines inspections against broker advice, buyer assumes full responsibility and releases brokers from liability. Professional guidance. Inspection waivers in competitive markets significantly increase buyer risk. Agents must document informed consent carefully. Strategic use of the BIN in competitive markets. In multiple offer scenarios, buyers may shorten inspection period or limit repair requests to strengthen offer. However, once inspections are completed, the BIN must still follow formal process. Tempe example, buyer agreed to minor repairs only in multiple counteroffer. BIN reflects only safety-related corrections, preserving negotiation credibility. Discussion question, can a buyer change their election after delivering the BIN? Answer, no. The election is final upon delivery. Discussion question, what happens if a disapproved item is not listed in the BIN? Answer, the buyer waives the right to object to that item. Discussion question, how long does a seller have to respond if buyer requests corrections? Answer, 5 days unless otherwise specified.